everyone. Welcome back to another Wednesday Sew and Chat. It has been a while. We apologize. It has been a crazy, busy summer here. A lot going on. But hopefully we can get back on somewhat of a schedule going forward. We would really like to be able to do that. I'm going to be quilting the Open Gate Quilt project for August. So just straight line quilting. It's a really small quilt, so it should come together really fast. I'm just going to follow the seams and keep it simple. It's a really cute design. I did show it on a video that posted earlier this week, so if you want to check it out, that is there and available. So do you want to tell everybody hi? Hi. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's been way too long, so I'm like, how do we even set this up?
So hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. So just to give you a very sort of high level overview of what's been going on, we got hit by Hurricane Beryl, which feels like it was months ago, and I think it was probably just 4 or 5 weeks.
I'm just making sure the quilting's fine.
No, maybe been longer. So we were without power for what, 4 or 5 days maybe.
We got on after that, so we.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had to replace all our stuff, which was really annoying. Anyway, we lost our power. We thought we got it back, and we bought a bunch of food, and then our fridge crapped out, so we had to buy new stuff there. That was really annoying. And then it's just been a lot of traveling back and forth for soccer because my daughter visited, 10 or 12 colleges. We ended up getting delayed a handful of times because of weather. And there was at one point we ended up we were in North Carolina, and we ended up having to rent a car and drive to Georgia to fly home because the weather was so bad.
I think that was wasn't some of that because that storm that went.
There was another storm that came through after Beryl
over there.
So.
I don't know if that was why your flight was delayed though. Because I think that storm actually went through a little bit later, but I don't know. I think it was already storming there. They're thunderstorms.
The flight was delayed for multiple reasons. It was a bunch of weather issues. There were some mechanical issues that weren't on our plane, but so anyway, that's sort of what happened. So we're back. Everything's fine now. Hopefully. So couple things I wanted to go over. Mike, I know you're in the chat, and I sent a message. You probably didn't see it. Is it okay to talk about the thing that we are going to do, you and I? If not, we'll leave it as a cliffhanger, and we can tell people about it later.
I think the name of this quilt, it is Monique Jacobs' pattern from Open Gate Quilt. I think she called it Spinning Spools. I have the name of it in the video that went up earlier this week when I showed the project she sent, but I think she named it Spinning Spools. Laurel, I must be leaving.
That's our daughter. Okay. Hello, everyone. I've missed everybody's name, so I apologize. So if you're joining, welcome.
Donnell had a live earlier today that I was able to catch some of it. She was quilting up a quilt on her channel, and she was using our every which way ruler because she was doing them on the diagonal. So because the lines on it are on the diagonal, she was reusing it. I was like, oh, that's really smart. I didn't think of using it that way.
Very smart.
So,
yeah.
That was fun.
People find ways to use our products that we never intended. All right, Mike. So we will. Since it's been so long, wanted to give people a few updates. We had talked about this before, I think in our last live, but never really got to it. So we did make pink trim locks and a pink Slidelock set. They're really cool. I like them. And as you see, you can see they leave a really cool reflection too. So those are available in the store. And then we also made blue quilt letters. I don't know if we talked about those before, but those are available in addition. We also have pink letters.
The blue are honestly my favorite because you can see, because it's not like a clear acrylic. It's more of a like an opaque. You can really see the letters really well on the blue, and I can't see for anything. So
yeah, my wife. Her eyes are beautiful, but they're not great at seeing things. So
yeah, I was showing him the other day pictures because I was telling him I do not like to drive at night because the lights from other cars or street light, all of it, like it really makes it hard for me to see. And he was not understanding what I was talking about. And I found a picture that shows, it's called an astigmatism, right?
Yeah.
Like what the lights look like to people. And he's like, you're not allowed to drive at night anymore.
Yeah, it's really bad. So, hey, Jill, I know you're getting ready for a quilt retreat. I haven't tracked your package, but it should either get delivered today or tomorrow. So hopefully it gets there before you leave. Actually, I can track it right now and let you know.
I don't know if you have that astigmatism and drive at night. I mean, it is a pain. He was like, you cannot drive at night. And I was like, no, I have little tricks that I do. Like I'll try to look at the lane lines more. And he's like, no. Is it not updating the tracking?
Well, it's annoying because, well, it says it's not going to be delivered till Friday, Jill. So I apologize, but it's been at the post office for a day and a half, and it's still there. I hate those.
Really?
People. Yeah.
It may not have just got scanned because sometimes they do that. When I look at them, it won't show it scanned, and then all of a sudden it'll show that it's out for delivery. So,
yeah. Well, hopefully it gets there, Jill. I mean, it probably would have been faster just to like literally
drive it there.
So, I have a couple questions that we're going to talk about. One thing, though, that I do want to talk about, I know most of you are not anywhere near us, but about 2 weeks ago, I think, we were trying to find, well, we weren't trying to find somewhere to eat. Someone in our neighborhood had mentioned a new place that had just opened up, and it's in Sealy, which is a town that's just right next to us. So we went over there, and it's an amazing place. It's called Lucy's Pie House, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, Pie House Grill.
Yeah, the food is great. The pie's really good too, but the food is spectacular. But they just opened up. But as we were leaving, we noticed that just 2 doors down was a quilt store that neither of us even knew existed. So we went in there. They were closed when we were there the first time, but we went in there the next time we were over there. And it's a really cool quilt store.
It's really cute.
Great lady who owns it. It's called the Wooden Spool. So if you're ever in I don't want to say Houston area because that's the next biggest city, but if you're ever in the Sealy area, then you should hit up the Wooden Spool. It's a really cool quilt store in a historic sort of downtown area of Sealy, and it is really fun.
And she has so she carried on the quilt shop because the person who used to own it retired, and a good portion of the store has fabric that is still in obviously really good condition, but is at really, really good prices. What was I think she said $5 to $8 a yard. Some of it, because he was carrying around one, and then she was like, she thought she was putting it back, but he was trying to compare it to other fabrics in there, and she's like, "No, don't put that back because it's only $5 a yard."
So it was a really cool shop. And I mean, we just like small towns, small shops, small businesses. So it was a really cool place. So if you're ever in Sealy, Texas, or in the vicinity, it's a great place to go, called the Wooden Spool. And
Yeah, and then eat at that restaurant.
Yeah,
Thank us later.
well,
It's so good.
Yeah, so Lucy's is really good, and there's also, what was the other one called?
The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack Saloon.
That place was really good too. We randomly saw that when we were driving around over there, I think. And that place was really good. Yeah,
so we discovered some fun stuff, which is always fun.
Yeah, and it's nice too when we find a place like that both of our kids will eat at, because they both both enjoyed Lucy's.
They have very differing tastes. And so when we find somewhere that we can all go as a family, it's great because we all have a great time and it's fun to eat and go out with our kids. But it's just so rare that we can find a place that they will both acquiesce to. So,
yeah, our daughter's favorite cuisine is probably Thai food, but our son does not like Thai food. He likes most cuisines like in that kind of genre, but Thai he does not like because they do a lot of peanuts in their dishes, and he's allergic to it, so he understandably is kind of hesitant to go.
So this brings me to our first question, which it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I just wanted to throw that out there. What is, since fall is upon us, what is your favorite aspect of fall?
All of it. It is my favorite season. I've talked about it before. I think actually in the last video that went up, because the fabrics that came in that for the bonus fat quarters, to me, remind me of fall. The colors. I love the colors. I love that it's cooling down. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why are we already talking about fall? Like they love summer. They love the heat. I do not. Ask my husband, if I get really hot, I am the crankiest, most annoying person to be around.
When she gets hot, I go golf or something. No.
I do not like being like, I can be cold all day long. Like when our power went out during that hurricane, I was absolutely miserable. But when the power went out during the freeze here, I was like, this is fine. I was under a quilt. I had a sweater on. I'm like, this is fine. I can do this. But heat, nope.
Andrea says cooler weather, which I'm with you, Andrea. My favorite thing is, we don't get it in Texas, but in Michigan, the colors where the trees, there's a road just outside of Ann Arbor, outside of the university, and you can drive on it in the fall. And there's like a 2-week period during which, if you drive on that road, all the trees are changing. And so you'll get some trees that are green, some that are yellow, some that are orange, some that are red. And it's the most beautiful drive I think you can take in that area. And so I love seeing the colors of everything changing. Don't get that in Texas.
Well, I loved, like, in Michigan, we had so much fun going to all the cider mills and the pumpkin patches and stuff. And when we first moved here and it was getting into fall, the kids were like, oh, like, we heard about a pumpkin patch around here that, like, everybody was going to. And we're like, okay, we'll go check it out. That'll be fun. It'll be kind of, like, remind us back home. And, like, no, it was like a pumpkin graveyard. It was so sad. Like, they were all, like, wilted and dead. And
well, it was like 140 degrees. We were sweating. It was cold.
It's like this. This is not what we were envisioning.
So
the only thing that was really neat there was the pump. There was like a building that had carved pumpkins in it, or like they had it dark in there, and there was like a pathway of all these really cool. That was really cool there. But it was inside, and they cooled it.
Yeah. Andrea and Katie like cooler weather. Melissa loves the outdoor smell. Right there with you. Not in Texas, but in Michigan for sure.
Like, I already have in our Scentsy thing, I have like fall scents going. Yes. Like I'm trying to bring on the cooler temps faster.
Mona says it's still warm, but there's a chill to the air.
Here.
Mary says end of bugs. Denise likes the colors as well. Football, Michelle, that's a great answer.
The end of bugs is a really good one.
Donna's with the colors of the leaves as well.
I like the fall flavors too, like all the cinnamon. And I'm really trying hard to channel it because I have a chai up here much to my husband's dismay, because he can probably smell it. He does. Which one is it in here that you don't like, or is it just the flavor you don't mind?
Just in general, any type of chai gives me stomach aches. So I don't know what's in it, but something. Mike, you like blue cheese, so I would expect that you would hate fall.
He doesn't like fall.
No, he's in mourning for summer. He says.
What the heck?
He lives in New York, though, so summer in New York is not anything like the summer that we experience.
When I went to New York, I think it was January-ish, and it was cold there, and I loved it. But me and Lo are going to try and go for her birthday, I think.
Hi, Nancy. I just saw your comment.
Did I tell you that Mike's birthday is the same as Lorelei's?
You did.
Yeah. I thought I did.
And I've been told you guys are planning some sort of birthday bash.
I hope so. I hope that we can go this year. Or not this year, but her birthday.
Next year. Yeah. Her next birthday. Pumpkin graveyard. Mike was laughing at you. Autumn and spring. Giovanna says she prefers autumn and spring. I'm with you. If I had to rank the seasons, I would go fall, spring. I don't know. I'd probably go fall, winter, spring, summer.
Yeah, that'd be the exact same for me. I thought Amy was in the chat. Hi, Amy.
Oh, I did not see her. Or I just haven't gotten there yet.
Amy, I'm with you. I like the flavor of apple more than pumpkin.
No, you guys are wrong.
You love pumpkin pie, though, and I think you are literally the only one in this house that likes pumpkin pie.
It's true. I am. Cindy, pumpkin spice, Halloween, football, cooler evenings. These are all great answers. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with fall generally.
I need to take these.
So I sort of hinted at it earlier. Mike and I, Mike being the New York beauty, which he is, but that's also his name in the chat. As newer quilters, my wife and Handmade by Ying with Donna had the idea that maybe Mike and I should do some sort of competition. Now, it started out, I think, initially saying we would do a quilt, which is just not going to happen. So I think Mike and I have agreed to some extent that we would do a block and we would live stream it. So he and I will start with nothing and create.
Well, you have to have fabric.
Well, yes, but I'm saying nothing will be. I guess we'll have to figure out whether or not we're going to cut on TV or whether it's just all going to be ready. But Mike and I are going to do some sort of quilt off where we make a block and see who can do it faster and do it better, I guess. And then everyone can vote. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be really cool. It'll be on his channel for sure. I don't know if we can do it on ours too, if we just do it on Mike's. Doesn't really matter to me. But I am looking forward to it. Yeah, a block challenge. There we go, Mike. So I think we're going to do a basic block. I don't remember which one, if we had agreed or not, but I think there was one that was very basic that we could do.
Y'all should get suggestions in the chat, like of what block people would like to see y'all do.
Yeah, but I know because someone's going to be like, do Dresden plate or something. We're not going to.
That would be fun.
That's not going to happen. I want something that has like 4 pieces, and we can just be like, "Hey, good."
So you want to do a 4-patch?
I don't know. Just maybe not that simple. I'm just saying. Oh, hey, Handmade by Ying with Donna is here.
She heard y'all talking about her.
I guess so. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't have any details yet. What the heck, Mike? You're in the middle of a 260 flying geese. So you're basically just going to destroy me because I am not doing that. And so I guess it may not be very fun to watch because I'll get destroyed, but Mike and I will joke. So
it'll be like that. Donna destroying Mike. But he needs his comeback after that.
Yeah, so Mike did get destroyed in the peel-off challenge with Donna. To be fair, he only used one hand the entire time, but after he lost, we timed him using 2 hands, and he still would have lost. Donna just had a genius way to do it. So if you haven't watched that video, you should go watch it because it is hilarious. Yes, I should get practicing Zaza. That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, when was the last time you sewed? It had to be back around Christmas, right?
It's been like a year. I've just been so busy.
And you've been stranded everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm the type of attorney that hates being an attorney. I think you all know that. So I do no advertising. I do not tell people. I mean, you guys know I'm an attorney, but like when I meet people at soccer or I'm, at an event, I don't tell anyone I'm an attorney because I'm afraid they're going to want me to do work for them, which I don't want to do. But despite doing no advertising, I get a bunch of referrals from past clients and from other people. So I've just been bombarded with work.
Stuff you have to fix.
Yeah, right. Like people are hiring me left and right to do this and that, and it's fine because I turn away like 90% of the people that come to me because they don't want to do it. But there are some people that come that have real legitimate issues that I think I can help with. So it's just been maybe the world is getting more litigious, although I don't know how that could be possible. But I've just been really busy, so I haven't had the time to sew and do the things that I would like to. Mike says he's aiming for 2 quilts a month. This is not fun for me, right? So
he's like a block. We should have done a quilt.
Donnell says we should do a modern diamond block.
I know. Oh, one of my blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see. I'll show you later tonight. I'll show you So Blessed by Jess's diamond quilt, Donna's and Donnell's. They were doing them live on that pattern live on Donna's channel, and they turned out really, really pretty.
Oh, well, then we should next time I can put those up so everyone can see them.
Oh yeah, I'll have to send pictures, but y'all should go watch. They're on Donna's channel. You can see, if you haven't already watched them, you can see them bringing them together over the last couple Fridays. I've been watching the replay because Fridays usually when we go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Have a little date night.
So Denise, I don't know if you're still in the chat. Let me know if you are, because this next part is not just for you, but I know you'll be interested in it. So I will wait and see if you respond in the chat, Denise Feigl. But if you are, please let me know.
Okay. That was quick. That's why I love straight line quilting. I'm going to take out all these, all
your pins.
And then I can probably trim it up and maybe get the binding on. I don't know what time it is.
I love like black and white type quilts. They're so pretty.
Yeah, I messed this one up, but it turned out good still.
What do you mean you messed it up?
Well, so this fabric was supposed to still be this fabric, but when I was cutting, I had the fabric folded, and I didn't realize when I was cutting that I didn't cut within the seam allowance or the selvage enough, so I couldn't use some of the fabric. So I improvised with fabric in my stash and just put them in the corners. But I think it turned out fine.
When you're done with that, Cindy wants to see it.
I'll take out the pins and then I'll hold it up.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike was being a gentleman during the competition, but like I said, even when Mike was using both hands, like his time was still like 5 minutes longer than Donna's. Donna just had a genius plan, and Donna destroyed the times that my wife and I did. Like it was ridiculous. If we were still making that way, I would literally just send all of them to Donna and be like, hey, I'll pay you to do this because you're incredibly fast. So, but it was fun. And it was a really fun sort of competition, and I enjoyed watching it and commenting. I was doing nothing, so it was great for me. Oh, hi, Joyce. How are you? Oh, okay. Well, this isn't about the Slidelock, a 10-inch Slidelock Denise. However, I know many people had asked us if we would make a ruler that would go in conjunction with the Slidelock, since the Slidelock requires a ruler. And I made one for my wife, not for that particular purpose, but she wanted a ruler and she didn't, want to go to the store. So I was like, okay, I'll make one. So I just need some fabric here to show this. So I made my wife a ruler. I don't know if you can see it all that well, but this is a 4-inch by, what did I do? 4-inch by 10-inch ruler. I know that's probably not the easiest to see, but it's a standard ruler. It's got markings at every 1/8 of an inch down the sides, and then it's got long and vertical and horizontal lines at 1/4 inch. So basically what you would typically expect to see in a regular ruler, but it's made out of the same 1/4 inch acrylic, and I put a handle on it because my wife wanted one. The question is, now again, this is literally, well, it's not true. This is like the 5th one I made because I went through some iterations of how thick the line should be and, where there should be additional markings. But this is the only one that we have right now. So it's not for sale. What I wanted to know is if we were to make more of these, what sizes would make sense? Now, my wife's favorite ruler, aside from anything we make, is 24 inches by 6.5 inches. And that makes a lot of sense if you're using it in conjunction with the Slidelock. So that size is probably one that I'll end up making. But I was really curious if there were other sizes that people would be really interested in. So if there's a critical mass and everyone says, hey, I want one that's 5 by 10 or whatever it may be, then it's a lot easier for me to make that than it is to just guess randomly at what sizes may work. So, and the cool thing is, because I do all this on the laser, none of this will ever fade. I know we have some rulers that are the print on or the painted on, and the numbers or the lines get, tired and distressed over time. These are all laser, so they will never go away, which is really cool. So yeah, just if you have ideas on sizes that make sense, go ahead and put them in the chat, email us, whatever works.
Zaza put some in, so definitely start on your notes putting them in. I think Amy put one on too. I really like the dots at every inch because it makes it really easy for me to see which line is the inch lines. So that I really, really appreciate on that ruler.
Oh yeah, so what she's talking about, again, I know it's really hard to see and I can take better pictures, but every inch there's a dot so you can see where the, I wonder if it looks better. Oh yeah, that looks better. So every inch there is a dot so that hey, this is my 1 by 1 or this is a 2 by 2 if you needed that. So that is that. I'm just trying to take notes on what people are saying with regard to sizes.
Covered in fluff.
Oh, the other thing is, would you want a handle on it? I'm thinking that, if we were to make one that was 24 inches, you probably wouldn't want a handle on it, although the handle would work and you'd be easily able to pick it up. But I don't know, because it obviously becomes a little bit harder to store if you have a handle on it because you can't just lay it flat on other stuff. So, handle, yay, nay.
We also didn't put I didn't put grips on this one because I like it to slide across the fabric because I use it to, if I want to measure 2.5 inches, I don't know if you can even see my mat, but if I want to measure 2.5 inches and cut, I like to be able to slide the ruler across here, get lined up, and then I push the Slidelock over, push down, and then cut. So that's the main thing I needed that for to easily do. But we were thinking, would some people want the grips on if they're going to use them to cut with? I don't know.
I don't know if that's a typo, Pat, but she put 76.5 by 12.5. 76. Now that's taller than me. I could do it. I just think it would be. I don't know how much it would cost to ship because that's pretty large.
Oh well, thank you, Cindy.
What happened?
She gave us a super chat.
Oh, awesome. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. Okay, so Melissa said everyone's getting the size that she wants. So it looks like 6 by 12, 6.5 by 12.5, 5 by 15. No one's actually said a larger size, so maybe I don't need to make one that big.
Well, you want to make one for me
well,
still.
Okay. Thoughts of Joy. Do all of our rulers have laser lines? Yes. Anything that we make that has lines on it is all done by a laser that I have. It's an industrial laser, and I use it for anything. I actually use it to do the logo and the patented and all that stuff as well. I have a CNC machine that can do it, but the laser just comes out better, looks better.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. Yes on the handles. So that seems like everyone has said yes, handle, please. Removable. So Giovanna, the only problem with the removable handle, and actually these are technically removable because you can just unscrew them. But the more you screw and unscrew it, it can destroy the threads because they're stainless steel. So they're not exactly the hardest material. So I don't know that I'd be able to make a removable handle that would last as many times as you might remove it and put it back on. Mona would like a hole to hang it up. I can put a hole right here at the top that you can just hang it on. That's something I can do. For something like this, it's not an issue. For the Slidelock, because they weigh so much and because of the way that these are designed, if I put a hole in this and you hang it up, there's a possibility of it getting out of alignment or causing issues. So I shy away from doing that. So this one, Denise, this is a 4x10. And I just made it that size. She asked me for a ruler, and I was like, hey, I'm going to do 4x10 because that's what I wanted to do that day. There was no rhyme or reason. It was literally just, that's the size of the square I made, and that's what I wanted to go with.
Well, I try to do short videos every now and then showing the Slidelock for Facebook and like Instagram and stuff to show how it's used. And sometimes when I film them, I use just the mat because I don't mind using my mat to measure. But people have been getting so mad at me lately saying you can never use your mat to cut fabrics. Like, I just need a ruler that looks good with my Slidelock for when I'm filming those. So I asked him to make me one, and he did.
Yeah, that's how it works. So, okay, I've got, everyone seems to be really good on the sizes.
Somewhere over there,
yes.
So I can iron this.
And then a lot of people say yes on the grips. So I think what we can do is if we decide to make them, probably will. We'll just offer it. I think Zaza said we can just offer it with grips or without grips. And if you want them, we'll put them on. And if you don't, we won't. And it's just that simple. Because we can have them sitting without the grips, and then we can just put them on as
if somebody wants them. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
This is going to be fun to try to do in this little section. Sorry that I'm off camera. I'm literally just ironing the binding in half. So
Donna, you're asking if it's possible to make you one with a wood handle. Just give us a call. Like, not right now, obviously, because we're live. Let me know what you want, and I can make it. That's no problem. I just need to know specifically what you want and how you want me to make it, and I will make it. That is fine. Yes, Zaza says if you know your mat is accurate, then it's not an issue. Again, this sort of goes back to the whole quilt police stuff, and I know Amy, I think, just released a video on quilt police on rules that she does break and rules that she won't break. Quilting is something that is fun for most people. Hopefully that they're doing it. It's fun. Do whatever the hell you want. Rules are not there for any reason other than to make someone feel superior to others. So the idea, I can't tell you how many comments we've gotten that are just rude with regard to, oh, you shouldn't do this because that's a rule, and you shouldn't do this. If you want to use the lines on your mat, go for it. Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, I'm sure you can take any quilt and pick at it and find something that's 1/8 of an inch off, or find a line that's not perfectly straight. It doesn't devalue the product. That's my favorite thing about quilts, is that they're so unique. There's no two that are the same. They have flaws, but that's part of the beauty of it to me. So all that to say, I'm going on a diatribe. But yeah, whatever, do what you want. If you want to use the lines on your cutting mat, do it. If you don't. But don't let anyone tell you what you should or should not do, especially when it's something that you do for yourself. You do it for others. It's a fun outlet. It just gets frustrating because we get a bunch of emails and comments from people that are more rude than they should be. We got an email the other day where someone literally just said, first email ever from this person. The email basically said, I want pricing. Don't give me BS. They didn't tell what product they wanted. They didn't intimate how we had given them BS in the past. It was the first email that I've ever seen with that email address.
Yeah, because we looked. I was like,
did we forget to email someone? You know, so just be nice and, you know, don't let anyone distract you from what you really want to do. And if you want to follow all the rules, that's sort of I'm a rule follower. I get it. But don't let someone else make you feel like you shouldn't do the rules. And watch Amy's video because it's about the rules. So, have we looked into shipping rates for Italy? Giovanna, I don't know what the shipping rates are. We actually paired with a company to do all our international shipping.
Yeah, and we don't know any. They take care of the customs, the duty, like they do everything.
It's been great. And all of the people that have ordered internationally have said that everything arrived fine and everything's great. But if you just go on our website and you put in that you're from Italy, it'll tell you what your shipping prices are. And the way that our third-party vendor does it is they take care of all the shipping, the taxes, the duties, so that you don't pay anything else. Whatever they charge you or whatever our website charges you is all you pay. So you don't have to worry about any additional fees after the fact. Because
when we were trying to do it ourselves, that was why we closed it, because it was just whenever the product got to wherever it was going, that's when they would figure out what other add-on price like taxes and duties were needed. So it was really hard on our customers because they didn't know what that would be up front. So it all is laid out for you. So it likely is going to be an insane amount, but we honestly don't have any control over it. It's what company figures out. I think I'm gonna hand stitch it.
Yeah, Donna also has a Quilt Police video, so you should watch that one too. It's hilarious. But yeah. Yeah,
because she got a super mean comment too. I was like, people are out in force. Oh my goodness.
Mike says we have spectacular Hollywood hair tonight, both of us. Yeah. So my wife's hair is gorgeous. This is like. My wife is beautiful, and I have never had any issues with her looks. But this haircut is top notch, and she got it while my daughter and I were at some college. I don't remember where she was competing, but we were out, and she texted me and said she got her haircut, and she was really disappointed with it because it was much shorter than she wanted, and she just wanted to give me a heads up, thinking that I would care.
To be fair, he prefers longer hair typically, like. That's what he's always told me. Now, I don't prefer like a long beard and all that stuff. And he had a long beard and all that for a really long time. That's like the mood he was in. But I just feel like if you get married to somebody you like him, hopefully it's more than just looks. So I didn't mind that he chose to have the long beard. But
so I come home thinking that I had like thoughts of horribleness in my head. She was like legitimately in tears essentially over how bad it was.
I did not fully cry. I was just upset by it because like if you have an idea in mind of what you want, it's just kind of like.
So I walk in the door and I'm like, what the? I was like, this is the greatest haircut. It's like my favorite haircut she's ever had. So I think it's totally fine and I'm happy that it happened. As far as my hair, I have been so busy. I literally have not had.
He's not happy about
30 minutes to go get a haircut. Like my hair needs to be like no longer than a quarter of an inch. As you can see, it's not like I had to put gel in my hair. I hate that. Like gel in hair. I want to wake up and look like I just like had my hair done, which means I don't have hair. But I haven't been able to do that, and I literally have not had. My barber is it's like 10 minutes down the road. I haven't had the chance to go and get it cut. It's been annoying.
Well, and so when he goes, it's usually when our son goes, and our son does not like having long hair either. He absolutely hates it. And so it got to the point where The barber they go to never has times on the weekend. They have it booked up like months in advance for weekend times. And our son was like, "Can you just shave my head?" So he literally shaved his head over the weekend because he was so tired of how long his hair was. Both of them are the same way.
And I honestly was going to do mine, but I have to be in court. I've got a trial in 2 weeks-ish. And so I'm not sure my client would be happy if I showed up all. So that may have to wait.
Yeah, he was literally out there, like, because you shaved Hunter's head out on the porch. He was like out there for a while. I'm like, he's contemplating just doing that, buzzing his own head. I knew it.
So yeah. So Giovanna Zaza's in the UK, and as far as I know, Zaza, you can correct me if I'm wrong. She's never had any issues with any extra charges. So I don't think you will either. But again, the contract that we have with our third-party international shipper is whatever they charge you is all that you will pay. And if you pay anything else, I think they cover it. Although we haven't had any issues where that's happened. So yeah, my hair may look good, Mike, but it's not my choice. Like this.
No, I like when his hair is longer like that, but he prefers it much shorter, and that's fine. It's his head.
Yeah. The issue is like everything that most of the stuff that I do is remote. So if I have a client meeting, I can do it over the computer. And if I have short hair, like buzz cut style, I can just show up and I don't have to have had a shower, and I can just do it. Now, if I have a client meeting, I either have to shower first, which sometimes I just want to work in the workshop in the morning. So I've got a meeting at noon. It's 100 degrees in the damn workshop. So I'll be sweating. I can easily just go rinse my face and I'm good. But now I have to style my hair and it sucks. So
yeah, I always know when because most of the time he's just on the phone, but I always know when he's on a video call because I'll see him come out of his office and he has like basketball shorts on, but with a button-up shirt.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, everyone likes your haircut, so they're all good.
I'm fine with it now. It was just like like I said, when you had an idea of what you wanted when you went in, and then it's different, it's kind of cool.
So, question number 2 is, are there any foods that you only eat during the holidays? And as an example, turkey? I love pumpkin pie. It is my favorite pie, but I will only eat it like really for a 2-week period around Thanksgiving. I'll eat it. I typically won't eat pumpkin pie before Thanksgiving, and then I'll eat it for like another 2 weeks. But that's the only time of the year I eat pumpkin pie. And for me, it's just because I love it. It's like one of my favorites, but I feel like there's something like it reminds me of fall. It reminds me of Thanksgiving. And so I like associating it with that time of year. So I won't eat it other times. When I was a kid, another one is, our Christmas Eve tradition was that we would eat crab sandwiches. And so there's a particular recipe that was passed down through generations of my family of how to make it. And so that's what we would do. We don't really do that now because when my wife and I got married, she doesn't eat seafood. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense for me to do that. Our daughter doesn't like it and our son does. But by the time he was old enough to actually know that he liked seafood, we had stopped. It had been 10 years or whatever. So I don't do that anymore, which is fine. But those were two foods that I would not eat other than the particular holidays with which I associated them.
I used to never eat, and Mike was very grossed out about this, but I used to never eat cottage cheese roast except for at Thanksgiving. But I started making it whenever I want it now. But you don't mind it, right? Like it's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite, but it's not bad.
Yeah. You were really surprised by how not as bad as it sounds it tasted.
Yeah. They got pumpkin pie, turkey, and oyster stuffing. I've never had oyster stuffing, and I never will because I don't like oysters, but that's fun. Yeah, Mike, we agree on something again. In-N-Out and pumpkin anything only at Thanksgiving. Good there. Eggnog, fruitcake soaked with rum. I will just say fruitcake in general I've never had a good one. That's not to say they don't exist, but
I bet it has to be like homemade.
I bet you if Lucy's made
yeah, I think it's some, because like the only time I've ever had it is like when those ones you see at the store, and nothing's as good.
No.
Like that's like any cake you buy and stuff.
Turkey and dumplings. Danelle said green bean
Mike
casserole.
said I put you on the spot. I did. You like it, right? The cottage cheese roast.
Yeah.
No, Mike's like,
he's out for blood.
Yeah,
he's trying to get in my head.
You're like that battered guy in that one video.
Nancy says yams. Amy's turkey outside of Thanksgiving. Joyce is pecan pie. Eggnog for Donnell also. Mitzi is eggnog. Panettone is they only get it for Christmas, says Giovanna. Tamales, but Sylvia says that's only because they eat it when they go visit their family the next time. White chocolate Oreos. So at least where we live, white chocolate Oreos appear to be available all year round. So is it just because they're only available at a certain time of year where you are, Jill? Or, well, you're in Texas, so I would think that you'd be able to get them all the time. Or is there some special meaning to that? Ava said, or Eva. There's a girl on my daughter's soccer team who spells her name the way you do, but she calls herself Eva, so not sure. But cranberries and pumpkin pie. You don't really eat pumpkin or cranberries outside of Thanksgiving, do you?
I love cranberries, though.
But it's not like an affirmative thing. You just don't.
Well, I think they're not really readily available either, are they? I don't know. I guess I've never really looked, but...
Mincemeat pie. A couple people with mincemeat pie. Goose and duck. Okay. Roast turkey. Another turkey one. Lena says she loves your quilt.
Thank you.
Did you ever show it to people? I don't know.
I held it up.
Zaza says I haven't had her fruitcake. You're right, I haven't. It may be delicious, but I've just never had a good one. So,
have you only ever had like store ones?
No, I have. I've had some homemade ones, but they're just disgusting.
You're not a big fan of sweets, though.
I'm not. I'm really not. So,
let me see.
What you doing?
Well, I only have pencils over here, and I need to mark a half an inch to cut. And
sorry, babe.
None of the things I have will be able to mark on that. They're here because it's dark.
Yeah, I have. It's not because it's associated with the holiday, but I have this amazing. I'm a very good cook.
He is.
I have this amazing green bean casserole recipe. It's so good, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't remember when it was. It may have been 15 years ago. We were at Thanksgiving at one of my wife's aunt's houses, and it was so good that there was people that were literally taking pictures of it because it was so good, and they wanted to remember it. That was Melody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing. But point is, we typically only have that at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, but Hunter asked if you would make it the other day.
It's not because we associate it only with those, just because it is it's not easy to make. There's it's like 18 steps to it, which is why it's so good. But yeah, I would totally make that. I'd eat it right now.
Walk away with that? Oh, here, put it away.
So
that's what happened. I actually put it away and could not find my rotary. Yeah, I don't think you made it though. You're gonna have to.
No, I need to. Now
this weekend you should, because it'll be a longer weekend.
I will. So, Lena's saying, "Are you doing a pattern and video on this quilt?"
There is already a video up of it, but it's not my pattern, so I didn't share any measurements. But you could. It's a pretty easy quilt. I think you could figure out the idea behind it and just make the blocks the size that you want. But this was from the Open Gate Quilt box. So I showed the steps to it in a video, but I just didn't give any measurements.
Zaza says roasted. I've never actually had roasted chestnuts. I feel like that's like makes me a bad person in some sense. Like, but I've never done it. Hey, Danelle, since you may know this, do you know if in Frankenmuth they do? You can buy like in the downtown area, you can buy chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Because I love Frankenmuth. It's like one of my favorite cities, and we were thinking about going there and spending some time during the holidays. But not that that's going to make or break it, but if they have them, I'd definitely try them. No, my green beans recipe is not a secret. The problem is I don't have a recipe that I really follow per se. I just sort of go with the flow and feel it. So it's not really something I can tell you. I know what the ingredients are. I can't tell you how much of anything I do. I just feel it.
We should do a video of you making it at Thanksgiving.
Why?
So that people can see how it's made.
Okay. So Mike says he has to cook the 7 fishes, but he doesn't eat fish. Is there a reason? Do you just not like fish, or are you allergic to it? Although if you're cooking it, you're probably not allergic. I love fish, so I love some fish. There's a lot of fish I won't eat, but there are some fishes that I quite enjoy.
So with his green bean casserole, though, like he makes like the mushroom soup type portion from scratch and stuff.
I make everything.
So that's
from scratch.
why it's so good.
Onions are from scratch. The mushroom soup is from scratch. I prepare the beans a special way. I use fresh chestnut, fresh nutmeg. Also, I'll buy like fresh nutmeg and I'll grate it myself. And there's all sorts of crazy stuff that I do, but it's really good.
I do not like the texture of fish. I can't eat any fish.
Nancy says she has a cousin with a chestnut farm in Michigan. That is awesome. So, Mitzi says she thinks she has. Oh, I think what she's trying to say is she's seen it there in Frankenmuth, referring to the chestnuts. Oh yeah, mulled wine. That's what that is. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, that's some of the stuff we do. Now, last question. What did I do here? I forgot. Oh, this is a fun one. Has anyone already started for shopping for Christmas gifts yet? There was one year, we were just talking about this.
Yeah, when we were talking about
3 or 4 years ago, we were already done with our Christmas shopping about this time. And it was the greatest thing on the planet because we had everything organized. We always have everything organized. But being done months in advance was great because we knew what our kids wanted. And we were able to get everything. We didn't have to worry about it. It's a little bit harder now only because our kids are older. They're both teenagers. They can drive. So it's a situation where they are not as easy to buy for, right? You can always buy an 8-year-old something, they'll love it. But when they're 16, it's a little bit different because they have very diverse interests and it's not just as easy as, buying them whatever. But we were just talking about, we really need to just get everything done because
it was
it's
such
so
a
much
nice
easier.
It was such a nice year. Because we had stuff wrapped and it was just hidden in your safe or in our closet and stuff. And we just were able to really enjoy the holidays because we weren't trying to figure out what we were shopping for or anything. So,
see, this is what you got us into. Ava says she wants us to do a video on making green bean casserole.
Well, I don't mean you don't have to go live, but we could just kind of film some of the steps and It's fine. They'll forget by Thanksgiving.
So yeah, we're really going to try and get all of our shopping done sooner or later. Luckily, we know the major things our kids want, I think. So it should be pretty easy. Problem is, I have no idea what I'm going to get you yet.
fabric.
Yeah, but I can't. Where am I gonna? I'd probably honestly just put it in here. You wouldn't even know it too.
Just come up here and wrap some of the stuff up I have. I probably
You
forgot
will.
about it.
Wonderful. I'm all done now, so I know what I'm doing. Mike says he usually shops in October. Mary hasn't started yet. Denise
Ava said she won't forget.
Giovanna got her daughter a gift. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't, I got daughter watches us, but that's awesome that you've gotten that for her already. Ava says she makes all her gifts, so that's awesome. And she started in January. If you're making gifts handmade, you have to start early. I get that. Let's see.
Yeah, my daughter, so she's a teenager, obviously. She asked me the other day, she sent me a picture of a blanket and was like, can you make this for me? That was like the happiest moment ever because I'm like, yes, I can. So we bought the fabric and I'm like,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because teenagers are just like, they're so picky about stuff. Yeah. And like a few, very, very few quilts. She's very, very nice. Like she's very sweet about it. She's like, I like the pattern, but I don't love the colors or whatever. But I was like, I get to make you something. That's awesome.
Jill's 50% finished. Jen is almost done, but she has 2 quilts to go. Auntie El Handmade says that they don't have any more kids, so they just do Dirty Santa gift exchange. Those are fun. We, our daughter's best friend's parents did one of those 2 years ago, and the gifts were hilarious that everyone ended up with. Zaza says Christmas shopping is done in December when it's cold.
We always have our kids go shopping for each other, like separately to pick out a gift for each other. And they used to have so much fun doing that. And now it's harder for them too.
Oh, I know. Because they still love each other, but like they don't want to spend time out of their day away from what they want to be doing to help their sister.
Well, and they don't really know what each other wants. Like,
yeah, it's true. They both live very different lives. And like part of the problem is because my daughter's so busy with soccer, like she's legitimately not here most of the day. She's got soccer in the morning for a couple hours, then she takes a break, and then she'll go to like, physical therapy or cryotherapy or whatever. And then she'll have soccer in the afternoon and evening. So like, I mean, she was at soccer for 2.5 hours this morning. She's back at soccer. She left at 7. She'll get home around 10:30.
And Hunter only has his learner's permit. So the main time that they like really spend together is when they both don't want what I'm cooking and they'll decide to go out to dinner together.
Yeah. Which has been great for us. Donna says she's already done. That's awesome, Donna.
I just put a knot in that.
No.
A mess.
Why'd you do that?
See?
I do not.
I did not think I would get this much done on this, so I didn't have like hand sewing needles ready over here. Thankfully, I actually knew where they were, though.
Well, that's good. So, yeah, I know. I do like I hate having things drag on. Like last year, I think we were not intentionally. We were down
2 days before. Yeah. I think we were finishing up certain things. I was like, oh my goodness, it was stressful. I guess stressful is too strong of a word, but that was not like us. Like normally, that 1 year was kind of, I don't know how we got that organized, but normally we're probably at least done around Thanksgiving. Yeah. Normally.
It's just when you have to wait longer, like neither of us like to go anywhere, right? We like the warm confines of our home. So when you buy stuff well in advance, you don't have to go anywhere. You can buy it online. You can find the store you want. You can give them a call. Hey, send me this. But when you're waiting until the last minute, you physically have to go to stores. And when you're doing that in December, it's so busy and crowded. And where we live, because it's whatever, the 3rd or 4th largest metro area in the country, you may end up parking a half a mile away from the store because there's not enough parking spaces for any of the stores around here. And despite being in Texas, where everyone has a large truck, and I'm guilty of it, I do as well, the parking spaces do not fit these things. So, like, I always try to park in just one spot. But there are places, like, legitimately, I have to take up 2 spots because even if I park in the center, my wheels are overloaded. It's like, we have parking spaces that are meant for, like, 1950s, 1960s British cars. It just doesn't make any sense.
Have you gone down 1093 yet?
1093. I don't know the last time. The last time I went out, it was actually today. I had to go out. I had to drop a package off. But no, I went the opposite way. So I've not gone to 1093.
They're like making this road near us, that's a pretty main road, more narrow. Like changing the lane lines. It's a 2-lane road. They're making them more narrow so it looks like they can put a shoulder on the road. And I'm like,
no, there's not enough room to drive on it now.
It looked like their side mirrors were over the line.
Yeah. Both Katie and Mike say shopping at Christmas time is too people-y. I agree. I agree.
I feel like people lose all manners.
No, Zaza, I am not. I legitimately try to park in one spot. The problem is, and I'm not even joking, if my car is, I don't know, 8 feet wide. I don't know what it is, but let's just call it 8 feet wide. The parking spots in some of these places are 7 feet wide. So there's legitimately no way that I can park without intruding in someone else's lane. It's not just me. Like, a bunch of people around here have big ass trucks. So
yeah,
they make the parking spots so small in some places that you legitimately, like, now typically what I do is, like, I park at the very back and I walk wherever I'm going so that even if it's a place where I can fit into the parking spot, I just don't want anyone to ding my doors. So I park as far away as I can. So it's usually not an issue. But if you go like to a mall during a regular time, like, it's ridiculous and I hate it. So.
Well, then if you go downtown, it's like all parking garages and
yeah,
some
and
of them you can't even get your truck in.
No, it's really annoying. I want to buy another sports car because I got rid of mine a couple years ago. That thing was small enough. I mean, it was tiny, but it was small enough that I could park anywhere. It was great.
Yeah, but we couldn't all go in it anywhere.
No, wait, only 2 people could get into it, and unless you were like 4 feet tall, like getting in, you literally have to sit on the ground to get in. But loved it. Great car. Definitely need to get another one.
Yeah, because Lorelai's the shortest in our family, and she would even have to sit sideways back there. Like,
So, yeah. So, but that's my story about why I don't like to go peopling. Yeah, so we're looking forward to fall. It was like 100 degrees here today. I'm checking for sure. So one of my favorite things about the fall, we talked about earlier, is that it gets cold. But the forecast, it's going to be, it's ridiculous. It's going to be, the heat index tomorrow will be in the hundreds. Again, so stupid. But hopefully it will.
It should start cooling down the middle of next month a little.
Yeah, that's sad though, right? Like, waiting until like end of September for it to cool down is really annoying. Oh, someone asked about your shirt. Where did you get your shirt?
Missouri Star Quilt Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They should be on their, what section is it on there?
I don't know.
I think it's under their, it's like their novelty stuff. It's their branded, because at the very bottom of it, I think it says Missouri Star Quilt Company.
Ooh, Amy's getting cinnamon rolls. I love cinnamon rolls. Bye, Amy. And hi, Melanie Taylor. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I love cars. And there's maybe more information you guys want to know, but my son is going to be turning 16 at some point early next year. I know the exact date. I don't know why I said it that way.
I was going to say, were you having trouble remembering?
So I need to get him a car, and I was thinking what I would do is just buy the newer version of the old sports car that I owned and let him use it
Let him use it.
He's not. I can tell just by his personality. Like my daughter has had her car. We bought her car on her the day before her birthday. So basically at the end of January, and she's got 12,000 miles on her car already.
Yeah.
She drives. Well, no, to be fair, she drives soccer 6 days a week, and we live in the middle of nowhere, so she's driving each way. Soccer's got to be 25, 30 miles each. So
well, because my car never had many miles on it until she got on her new team that was over there, and when I was having to take her, like my car ended up with so many miles on it.
So yeah, anyway, so our son's not going to be like that. Like to the extent that he goes anywhere, it's going to be because we bribe him to go somewhere we don't want to go. So he's not going to drive that much. And so if I buy a sports car for myself and I say, hey, this is your car until I want to use it, we'll be fine. And that way I get to have it. So that's the solution right there. The only danger there is buying him a car that goes that fast, but I just don't think he's going to be the kind of guy that's going to drive it that way.
He has like the calm parts of both of our personalities.
Yeah, it's really weird. So, what it's going to do to our insurance when they're like, "Oh, that's on your policy," and he's now 16. Yeah,
like,
that's gonna.
How about you meet him though? how about you just come to dinner with us and meet him, because then you'll see like it'll be fine, and then you'll probably up the price of our daughter's insurance though.
So Danelle says that the Bavarian Inn in Frankenmuth has roasted nuts, so we should at least be able to get them there. Melanie, is that a guy thing? Getting your son a reminder of your youth? Yes and no. I will say, like, a reminder of my youth. My favorite car that I had when I was younger, and I have had to have had 70 cars at this point. Like when I was younger, I would buy a car for $500, fix it up, sell it, buy another one, right? And I would go through that whole cycle. So my favorite car when I was younger, man, I don't know, probably a 69. Oh, would that be it?
He really wants an old car.
I know. Yeah, maybe. I'm just trying to think of what my favorite would have been. I can't. I just said so many cars. But point is, like, a reminder of my youth would probably be some sort of muscle car. 69 Mustang, something like that. But like living in Texas and where we live specifically, I am very concerned about buying him an older car because the way that people drive around here is such that you always have to be on the ball. I'm like, I feel much better if he has a brand new car that has all the safety features that will automatically brake or that will be able to handle, stuff that comes up here. And as much as I love 69 Mustangs, it's like that thing is going to take a while to, like, if you have to slam on the brakes, it's going to take a while to slow down because it's heavy as hell. And it's just because it's so hot here, there's just not a great way to get that thing to cool itself down as easily. So I'm much more, the car that I would buy him is a car that I owned 2-3 years ago. So, but, Giovanna says you have to be 18 even before applying for a driver's license. I'm assuming she's in Italy. And it costs $2,000 in fees. Yeah, I wish they would do that here because I feel like in America, at least, getting a driver's license is really, it's a privilege, but it's really sort of a right. Like they don't turn people down. And it's like $50. Like I really wish it were, you had to put significant money into it because then hopefully wouldn't have as many bad drivers, but
it's crazy that you don't really have to do much either.
No, it's really frightening.
I mean, her driving test was so, like, it was probably like 10 minutes. It was probably more. I mean, it was definitely longer just waiting for them to go out with her than the actual driving around was. And it's only in like a neighborhood.
My driving test was like an hour long in California, way back in the day. And there was in Texas, like we make sure our kids know how to drive before we would let them get a license, but they do an online course and then we have to attest that they've driven enough. Like you could legitimately in Texas do the online course, which is a joke. And then never drive and your parents just sign something and then you can go get your license. Like, it's that easy, which is frightening. So
I think that's everywhere though.
yeah, maybe it is now. Like, it surely wasn't that way when I got my license, but I guess we'll see.
To be honest, they still have bad drivers all the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I took my test, my driving test, it was at the same time as a bunch of my friends, right? Because we're all turning 16 at the same time. Although in California, you had to wait until you were 16 and a half because you couldn't get your permit until you were 15. And then when you turned 16, you had to wait 6 months for whatever reason. Like, it was dumb. But anyway, point is, we all took it at the same time. I remember one of my friends passed. It was scored on 100, and he's passed with a 71. And I was like, you got 30% of whatever it was you were doing wrong, and they still gave you a license? It's like, the passing score should be like 90, right? Like, there's going to be some things that go wrong, but 70? I honestly don't know what the passing score was. I just know you could pass with a 71.
The main thing I remember from Lorelai's test, because I wasn't in the car with her, like she went with, she actually had an instructor that was in the passenger seat with her, and then somebody was getting trained in the back seat. And the first thing she had to do was parallel park. And she said that she was like pretty nervous about doing that as the very first thing. Like, you literally drove just a few feet out, and then they had stuff set up for parallel parking outside of traffic, and everything was basically in their parking lot. And she said that she did it absolutely perfectly. Like, she backed into the spot perfectly, and she didn't have to adjust the car forward or back or anything. And she said after she parked, she was really disappointed because neither of them clapped for her.
Well, because our daughter was really concerned about the parallel parking thing. So, like, the day before her exam, we spent like an hour just parallel parking over and over and over again until she got it down. Because there's not like a physical class you go to in Texas where they teach you this stuff. And
unless you pay for it.
Right.
Like,
well, I mean, you could, but you don't need to. And neither of us had ever thought to teach her that particular skill because it's a dead art. Like, I don't even know where you would even parallel park.
I've never parallel parked. But when I did my test in Florida, you didn't even have to. That wasn't even on our test, so I never thought about it. But her friend got her license a month before her and told her it was on it, and that, like, they tell you can't use your cameras and stuff on your car. They want you to use your mirrors. So she was like, well. So,
but yeah, we practiced for like an hour straight. She had it down pat, so she shouldn't have been worried. But yeah, I don't know. It amuses me how easy things are nowadays compared to what they were back in the day. Now, I guess that's also the other thing too. Like, I remember my test being like an hour long, and I remember it being difficult. It may have been a 10-minute test, and I'm just romanticizing what I thought happened. But no, I mean, I do remember in my test, like, one of the things I had to do, which I thought was absolutely asinine and had absolutely no basis, was we actually had to drive in city streets, so there was no like private property you went on, but they made me back up. Now, mind you, this was so old. So the car that I was driving, obviously had no cameras or anything like that. And so you had to back up along the curb and stay the same distance along the curb for like 100 feet. And it's like, I was asking myself, when am I ever going to be in a situation where I'm next to a curb and I have to back up for 100 feet and keep straight? Like, I'm not driving on cliffs and hoping not to fall off. It was such a stupid thing. But they made us do that for sure. I remember that distinctly.
I had to do that too. I don't remember how far it was, but I remember having to back up a long ways.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying like Zaza and Candace and Auntie Han made, like, yeah, I had to do parallel parking. We had to do a 3-point turn. You had to do right and left turns. You had to drive through a neighborhood. All that fun sort of stuff. Pat said she took her driving test in Toronto, Ontario, December 23rd at 5:30 p.m. in a snowstorm.
Yikes.
Good for that driving instructor or whoever's like. I know in California, if it was raining, they would not let you do your test. Like you just had to reschedule and come back, or you could wait it out. But if it was raining or if it was fall, like they needed perfectly clear conditions for you to go and do it. So I don't know that that's the case now because they have so many more people now than they did when I was doing it. And there's no way you'd ever be able to get people in and out and test if you did it that way. But
yeah, they adhere to a strict schedule at the DMV. You can't even do walk-ins. Like you have to schedule your appointment very far in advance to get anything done here.
Yeah, so Katie says she had her driver's permit at 14. I know there are some states where you can get your permit like as early as 12, depending on where you live, and there's some agricultural exemptions and things like that. But I knew a couple kids whose parents had farms, and they were able to get permits at like 14 because they needed them to drive, trucks to transport hay from point A to point B or whatever. I don't know that it's all states that do it, but I know that there are some in the rural areas that do.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's very limited as to what you can do, but, that's, although, thinking back now, it's like, it really is frightening the sort of power that we give kids that are that young. Like, our daughter's very responsible, but like letting her drive by herself, when you think about it, is like, she's great, but like there's a lot of 16-year-olds that make really bad decisions, and we let them drive basically, 5,000-pound murder vehicles if they use them wrong.
Well, that's anybody though. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, I've met a lot of people that I'm surprised they're able to get dressed every morning.
So Katie, are you still in South Dakota? It's like my favorite state. My favorite state. I think it's her favorite state too.
Yeah, I would love to move that. Yeah. Well, I guess we never lived there, but we vacationed there, and I love it.
Yep, I actually I have a real estate agent in South Dakota that sends me houses. She's been really bad though. Like the stuff she's been sending me is like not what we've asked for, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, you mentioned that because you haven't showed me stuff in a while, but there just may not be anything available. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. But the stuff she's been sending me is like it meets one of our requirements and none of the others. It's like, what are you doing? But yeah, I love South Dakota. Great place. So. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for your feedback on our stuff. I appreciate it. We have not eaten dinner, so I think we're going to try and figure out what we're doing for that. And
don't worry, we fed our kids.
Yeah, they've been fed. Not us though. So
they can actually feed themselves now, which is quite nice.
Yes.
Often they will just cook their own food, or they will plot together to go get food somewhere.
Right. They've learned that if they do a favor for us, like drop off packages or go to the store to pick up milk, they can parlay that into getting a meal out of it, which is great for us because honestly, I'm more willing to pay them $30 to go get food than to have to spend an hour to go get milk. It just works out better. So
they're like, they'll see our packages stacked up and they're like, do those need to get taken to the...
Yes, yes, they do.
They're like, well, when we're out, can we get Chipotle? Sure.
Yeah. So it's great being back. Thank you all for indulging us. We'll be back. We should be back for the near future. We don't have any other plans that I know of. Things may get a little bit crazy around the holidays, only because obviously we may be traveling. We don't know really what we're doing. But nonetheless, it was great to be back. Thank you so much for joining. That's all I got, babe.
Yeah. So hopefully by the next live, maybe we'll have some of the rulers up and can show you what sizes we decided to do. So that'll be hopefully something we can get done on the long weekend.
Oh, yeah. It's a long weekend. That just means I get days off where I work, even though it's a holiday. That's what that means.
Just a different work. Catch up on the store.
So, all right, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.